Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. There's a question which I've been asking myself of late, and allow me to ask you guys that question because I'm interested in real answers and real numbers. If elections were held in Kenya today and you are given only two choices, 1 term and 2 term, how would you vote? How would you vote? Because clearly, based on my own understanding, my own observation, even from the responses on this platform, majority of Kenyans will pick 1 term. But is that the reality if elections were held today? The truth of the matter is that if elections were held today, William Ruto can lose only on 2 conditions. Only 2 conditions. Not as easy as saying 1 term or 2 term. William Ruto can only lose under 2 conditions. Number 1, the first condition is if the united opposition unite and fronts a single presidential candidate. With that, William Ruto will go home. But is that possible? That is why I'm doing this video. Is it possible, is it possible for William Ruto to face only a single presidential candidate? And the second condition under which William Ruto can lose, if majority of Kenyans decide or resolve to send the president home. They can do what? They can do another Moi moment. And that would mean everybody within the political space will swallow their political pride and rally around a single presidential candidate. And that presidential candidate will actually be picked by Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, and for that to happen, 2 things. Kenyans will have to turn out in large numbers so that even if the system would attempt to rig, they cannot. And number 2, if they have elaborate vote protection unit. Having said that, there's something which is happening in the Republic of Kenya. And most of you guys are emotional and you don't want to listen. William Ruto is taking advantage of the rise of Edwin Sifuna to divide the opposition. I listened today to this speech here by Wamboka. Listening.
Ninyi hako hapo, George Natembea hako hapo, Boni Khalwale hako hapo, Caleb Amisi hako hapo, Oundo hako hapo. Tumekataa. Tunawaambia nyinyi panga yenyu ya 2032. Mkitaka hata msikuwe na haraka, panga ya 2052. Hiyo ni yenyu. Sisi mtazamo wetu, Waluya mnisikie leo, tuko tunazika ndugu yetu Sifuna hapa, familia ambayo iko kubwa sana. Walikuwa wanafikiria hatutakuwa na candidate. Tuko naye. Sisi 2027 Mheshimiwa Ruto anaonana na Edwin Sifuna macho kwa macho. Macho kwa macho. Macho kwa macho. Na tutakanyagana. Hii dunia haitakalika. Sasa hao ndugu zetu wapanga ya 2032, 52, hiyo ni yao. Hiyo ni yao. Sisi tuko hapa. Kama unatoka eneo la Western na wewe unaenda kusimama kitu yoyote, whether MCA, bunge ama senator, kama uimbi wimbo wa Sifuna nyumbani, ambia Matiang'i, rafiki yako, rafiki yetu, waungane wasimame nyuma ya Sifuna tuchukue hii kitu asubuhi.
That's a very powerful statement. And I know majority of Kenyans are actually buying that statement. And I also listened very closely to this speech by Edwin Sifuna, which I'm coming later on with its analysis.
Nataka niseme I can feel the love, I can feel the support. Labda nyinyi mniangushe. Mimi siwezi kuangusha. Wanasema ati pesa itamwagwa. Wanasema pesa itamwagwa father. Sisi wale ambao tumezimama kwenye ule mlima na tumeona Canaan ndio ile pale. Hakuna pesa ambayo inaweza kuletwa kugeuza safari ya Canaan. Singapore hatuendi sisi. Sisi tunaenda Canaan. Mnanielewa? Mnanielewa? Mimi sitawaangusha, nyinyi msiniangushe.
That's exactly what William Ruto wanted. I explained on this platform And some people called me names. Let me accept that again. The truth of the matter is that William Ruto understands one thing, that for him to defeat the opposition, he must divide them. And that's why it was very difficult for Fred Matiang'i to work with Rigathi Gachagua together. Currently they are working, but there's still a challenge because Rigathi is supporting Kalonzo and Uhuru is supporting Matiang'i. And I'm 100% sure because Matiang'i himself has placed his cards on the table. He has said that the formula of picking one candidate must be scientifically proven. Now we are seeing the emergence of Edwin Sifuna. And Edwin Sifuna is emerging as a very strong force. As a matter of fact, if elections were held today in Kenya and Kenyans were allowed the opportunity to pick a single opposition candidate, do you think they'll pick Kalonzo? Do you think they will pick Matiang'i? For me, no. They'll easily pick Edwin Sifuna. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want to reveal to you guys why William Ruto is taking advantage of the rise of Edwin Sifuna to divide the opposition permanently. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Edwin Sifuna's rise is creating another center of power within the opposition. What do I mean? Previously, we had the united opposition. Everybody in the opposition were rallying around that. As things stand today, ODM party is split, which is the fact. And that split would mean that Edwin Sifuna is going to go with a huge chunk of ODM supporters rallying behind him. Those ODM supporters are not going to easily accept to rally behind united opposition because of Rigathi Gachagua. The truth is, they are going to rally behind Edwin Sifuna. And also, the rise of Edwin Sifuna has brought new players who are not previously in opposition, who are not previously members of ODM. You know, probably you are not a supporter of Raila. You are not a supporter of ODM. But now you support Edwin Sifuna. Those are the realities. So a new center has been created. So those centers are going to go like that up to the election. And just like I keep on repeating, as long as the opposition will be divided, there's no way they will remove William Ruto. The truth is, do you think Kalonzo Musyoka will not be on the ballot in 2027? Do you think he will accept to support anybody else? And I've asked you a question, and probably you need to answer it today. Do you think Edwin Sifuna can do all these things he's been doing just to settle for Nairobi Senate again? Everything has moment. This is Edwin Sifuna's moment, and he will have to take it. Because if you want to take it, someone is going to take it. So that's number one. Number two, the rise of Edwin Sifuna is helping William Ruto solve a question which has been bothering him for a very long time. The question of the Gen Zs. The young people almost kicked William Ruto out of the presidency. It's Raila Odinga who saved him. It's Raila Odinga who saved him. Then these young people have been shopping for candidates. They started with Omtata, flopped. Maraga, flopped. Right now, they are behind Sifuna. I can assure you, these young people, because I listen to them, I normally watch some Twitter spaces or X spaces and also on TikTok. Just search Sifuna, Sisi ndio Sifuna. You will get several of those chats. The young people are really supporting Sifuna. Do you think if Kalonzo were to run, Sifuna were to run, these young people will go for Kalonzo? And I know you are wondering how this has helped Ruto. Let me explain how. The young people were not willing to vote for Ruto. So which means if it was only Kalonzo running, then they'll not split their votes to Sifuna. They might not like Kalonzo, but at the end of the day, because they hate Ruto, they would still support or vote for Kalonzo. So Ruto has now managed to deal with the young people who are not willing to support him. Yes, he now has somewhere where he believes they can actually vote for. So they can vote for Sifuna. So young people are going to vote for Sifuna. The other traditional Kenyan voter, mobilized based on tribal, most Kikuyus and Kambas, will vote for Kalonzo. Ruto, katikati yao. And number 3, and this is the biggest threat, the winning formation. You know, United Opposition had principles. Martha Karua has made it very clear that she's not going to be anybody's running mate. Which means if Martha Karua is not picked as a presidential candidate, she's actually willing to support someone else. Whether that person is Matiang'i, whether that person is Kalonzo, she's okay with that. Which means now, in my own estimation, we have only 2 candidates, serious ones. There is Kalonzo, then there is Matiang'i. And now we have Edwin Sifuna in the picture. What that would mean is that if you are to get a serious winning formation for that team, my pick would be Sifuna because of the Luhya votes and Kalonzo. So Kalonzo can either be presidential candidate or the running mate, the 2. Where will that leave Matiang'i and the Gusi? That equation. So that winning formation is being complicated by the rise of Sifuna. And William Ruto is going to take advantage of that. I can assure you. The Ruto I know is going to take advantage of that winning formation. Because where you have Sifuna, you have Natembeya, you have Matiang'i, you have Kalonzo. Difficult situation. Number 4, there is a push now for generational change. In short, there is the old guards versus fresh start. Kalonzo being categorized as old guard. Sifuna, fresh. Yeah, remember in 2022, William Ruto had the hustlers versus the dynasties. Now in the opposition, your choice is going to be based on either old guards or fresh start. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how the opposition is going to be split right in the middle. And of course, there's also the Nairobi politics. If Sifuna were to run for the presidency, yeah, Kalonzo also were to run for the presidency, the equation down there is going to change. So there's only one prayer which the opposition must make. That between Sifuna, Kalonzo, and Matiang'i, all of them should be willing to sacrifice their ambitions. Because if the lawyers are going to put pressure on Sifuna the way they are doing, if the other camp of ODM will pile pressure on Sifuna, then it means he's going to be on the ballot. It's also going to mean we're going to have Kalonzo on the ballot. And there's no way Matiang'i will also not be on the ballot. No, all those people versus William Ruto. Yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Makwiny. But the truth is, that's exactly what William Ruto is scheming. Bye bye.